Hello, everyone, and welcome to our live presentation of a interesting CTO case. We're broadcasting from St. Boniface Hospital, which is in Winnipeg, Manitoba, which is smack in the middle of Canada. It's usually cold, very, very cold in the winter here, but right now it's nice and warm and summery, so don't hesitate to visit.
So the case today is a 61-year-old gentleman with a CCS class 2 angina, has a past medical history of hypertension, obesity, family history of premature coronary artery disease, dyslipidemia, and gout. He was referred for angiography after a MIDI scan that demonstrated a large territory of moderate severe ischemia in the RCA territory. This was basal to inferior wall, LV is preserved, and there was no anti-general therapy prior to the angiography. Maybe you guys want to show the angio of what you have. And
yeah, so the original angiogram showed a tight circumflex lesion that was treated with PCI, and he had an RCA, CTO of the RCA as well. Our plan was to medically manage it, and hopefully the PCI to the circumflex would control the symptoms, but he continues to be symptomatic with at least CCS class 2 angina, despite being an optimal medical management. So we brought him in today. We have a dual catheter setup. This is the dual catheter injection. We have right femoral, right radial setup, which is what we usually use for 90% of our CTO cases, both 7 French. We have the donor vessel, the left main, engaged with an XB35 guide through the femoral, through the radial artery, and then an AL1, a GR4 guide in the right femoral artery, engaging the RCA. We wanted to engage with an AL1 for more support, but unfortunately it was too big and we couldn't engage. Now, this is our dual catheter shot. There's a few questions we look at to try and plan our strategies. The first is the proximal cap well identified? And in this angiogram, you can see that we know where the proximal cap is. There's a lot of disease in the proximal RCA, but it stops abruptly. It's got a bit of a taper to it. So it's a well-defined cap, which allows us to work antegrade with relative safety. The second question is, how long is the occlusion? Now, unfortunately, despite being a very long cine large dose of contrast, we don't really see the distal cap very well. So at this point, I'd say it's probably a bit longer, but it might be shorter than we think. Third question, is there a distal reentry target? If we try going antegrade and we end up in a subintimal zone, do we have a good target to reenter and puncture back into the true lumen? And in this situation, I think you can see the distal RCA is relatively healthy. It's more than 2 millimeters in diameter. So if we got down there in a subintimal plane, then ADR Stingray base would definitely be an option. And then the fourth question, if that didn't work and we wanted to go retrograde, do we have good collaterals? And you can see from the REO cranial here that there's several septal collaterals supplying the PDA. None of them are absolutely clearly straight or have a straight connection, but I think we'd have a reasonable chance of success crossing one of those if we try different branches using septal surfing technique. So I think our plan right now is to proceed with antegrade wiring. We'll get the turnpike spiral as our usual Workhorse microcatheter for antegrade access. And then we'll let you know what choice of wires we're going to use. For safety measure, once we get to the distal cap, we'll put the Workhorse wire that we're going to use to deliver the microcatheter down the left main for protective reasons. So we use a well-shaped Workhorse wire here to show us the course of the vessel. I'll put that back up for you. So that's the course, although that's in a bit of a cranial with it.
So we're going to put a beamer down the left system just to help stabilize our guide. The guide's been a little bit unstable, so it'll help just give us control and less damping on the left. I'm AP caudal there, Bassam.
So your Workhorse, so the first wire to use here, we've moved away from using the Fielder XT or XTA if we don't really see a good hint of a microchannel. We find you could either use an intermediate hydrophilic polymer jacketed wire, such as the Pilot 200 or the Gladius. We do find that they have a higher tendency of going subintimal. We've had good luck with the guys, although they do have a tendency, they can exit the vessel architecture, so you have to be cognizant of that. So far, we think we're confident that we haven't exited the vessel architecture with the wire. Notice the movements are very deliberate with the hands there. The wire is moving forward quite a bit. That might be going off course, so I'd pull it back and redirect a bit down. Advancing the microcatheter now into the lesion to provide more support. Unfortunately, what we were expecting is the guide kicking back there. So the can we make sure we're coning in on
As far as
the operator? Yeah, yeah, get some more wire forward down there. You're right into the cap there, though, so that's good there.
Okay, I'm just going to look at our diagnostic again and see what we see of the vessel beyond the cap. Not a lot.
So the issue we're facing here is we have a long segment of vessel where we're not really sure what the course of the vessel is, if there are any extra bends or not, and we're kind of going by braille with what is a relatively stiff wire. So we're relying a lot on tactile feedback and what we believe to be the course of the vessel. I don't think we're comfortable advancing the microcatheter beyond that because, you know.
Retroshot, please, Chelsea, when you're ready.
So that seems to be going off course there. So I'm going to pull back and see if I can steer it the other way.
Test there, please. Yes, on the
assessment. And could we focus on the hand maneuvers here?
Good.
Not getting as much pacification anymore. Okay. Should probably do a cine here because I'm worried that I'm going off course there now. Okay, do a retro cine there. Start injecting. Could I convince you that I'm in the right direction?
I think so. I think we're in architecture. So it looks like it's following the natural curve.
So yeah, so I'm not going to advance my microcatheter, but I was going to see if I can make progress with the wire. So it's deliberate 90-degree movements. Pressing a bit harder now. Not sure if I'm hitting a wall. This would be a good spot to have the microcatheter down a bit more if I'm comfortable with the spot.
Yeah.
Now support's an issue. You can see my guide's getting kicked out. We couldn't engage with the AL1 and we don't have 0.75 ALs, unfortunately, at least not in 7 French. And we're out of guide extensions, the trap liners either.
Anchor in either.
No. Well, I think my wire just jumped.
It's really getting
okay, let's see. Let's do another cine there. Okay. See if we've getting close. Then if we're comfortable and we're in the right spot, then we can be a bit more aggressive with our gears and all that. Okay. Oh, perfect. We have a 7 French trap liner.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, let's open it. So we're going to need a trapping balloon as well, a 2.5 trapping balloon. So here's our support. We're going to use a trap liner. Trap liner is basically a guide liner with a balloon in the back. Which will allow us to still do the microcatheter exchanges, which becomes very challenging in the guide liner alone. Alrighty, 2.5 chopper, yeah. Let's flare there. Just to set up for that. Get the wire down a bit more. Yeah, that's probably true lumen, eh? Okay. 2.515 trapping balloon, please. So we're going to need to take our microcatheter out. Trap it out with the regular soft balloon and then take the trap liner down. We might need to dilate a bit of a course for it so that it can actually provide us some support and get it down into the vessel disease right off the bat. Okay. Just advancing a 2.515 balloon into the guide that will inflate it inside the guide to trap the wire against the wall of the guide and allow us to take out our microcatheter without risking losing the wire position that we spent so much time getting. Okay, going up with the balloon there. We're at 12.
Check our wire stable.
Good, you can see there now he's just pulling the microcatheter out with the trapping. The balloon is in.
Completely, please.
Yeah. Now the downside with trapping
when you're ready
is that you're going to entrain air because you remove the microcatheter from a blind tunnel. That's going to create a vacuum effect that will suck air into your system. So whenever you trap gear out, always make sure that you de-air the system. You want to take the trap liner into the guide.
Yes.
Just take a 2.5 balloon to delay the track for it to get it to trap it down there. Sounds good. Let's take the trap liner in. So ACT is 302. We're working antegrade. We're not working retrograde. So I think that's a reasonable number. But remind us in 15 minutes, we'll probably give some more heparin. Our target is
Yeah,
usually
want
above
the top
300 if we're antegrade, above 350 have retrograde gear. So obviously you can see the vessel disease right off the bat. So getting the trap liner down deep would be challenging, although it seems to be working well here. So should we just go back with the guide
I
extension?
think so, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go up with the trap liner now, and we'll take the turnpike spiral black,
spiral,
please,
yeah,
Chelsea. So the problem with the trapping again is in training air. Now we have a manual manifold on this system, so we can do a flush system where now that the balloon is up, we open the saline flush in there, and you'll see here that it's flush of saline, and that maintains a positive pressure inside the guide, so it prevents air from being entrained. It's very important to remember to turn that off, the saline flush, before you deflate the balloon, especially if you are in a subintimal plane or working for antegrade dissection reentry, although otherwise your case is over. Okay, but you can see my microcatheter is advancing nicely. I'd also like to keep this guide extension, the trap liner, in as much as possible to dampen the inflow to the where we are, because we're not 100% sure we're true lumen.
Change a wire out.
We are
another beam universal.
Although
please.
this is advancing very smoothly, Mike. So this probably is true lumen. So workhorse wire, we'll take another BMW universal wire. And the movement of the wire will confirm to us whether or not we're true lumen. If you're subintimal, a workhorse wire will not advance. Well, if we're in true lumen, this should just fly through.
Guy out, please, and then beamer universal in.
Are almost 100% IBIS users for CTOs. I think there's good evidence to support its use for stent sizing. I also find it very helpful in identifying the reentry zone. Even though we've done antegrade wiring, we might have a subintimal course that we don't appreciate with wiring, and IBIS will help show us that and show us where we've entered the true lumen, or whether we're in the intraplaque through the whole lesion.
A little bit coil here.
So with the microcatheter crossing the lesion, we're hoping that delivering this balloon should be less of an issue. You can see there it's just slid through.
Yeah, have to go there.
We'll start there. Sounds good. So going up with the 2O balloon.
10, yeah, 225, 20, 10, 12.
All right, I'm at 12 atmospheres.
Then you come back a little bit. We might not have got the proximal cap.
You got
There.
well, plus there's disease in the proximal segment as well, so it probably should hit that. Going up again. Well, we believe the balloon is inflating, although there's a bit of air in the system. We
just gonna back off the trap liner a little bit and treat the proximal. So, okay, up you go there, Bryson.
going up again. They are at 12.
Still leading.
I think so, yeah. You can, you want to do another, trap it in there, or you're just happy with that?
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Hold on one sec. Okay, layers. Let's do just D air here. Do a little give a bit of nitro.
Yeah, it should be okay with there because we did
Yeah,
we only did give us 200.
Ain't much there. If we got saline in the system, that's what we have.
Okay. So injection there, fluid there. I'm just going to try and fill the system up for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. And give the nitro there.
Yeah. 200 nitro IC. Okay, nitro in. IBIS when you're ready, Chelsea.
Right there. So make sure I got the all nitro in. A lot of disease occlusive there. You can see all the RV branches left there. Pull the guy.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pull the guy extension back and we'll see. Just
give him another 4,000 heparin, please.
Pull puff there when you're ready.
Yeah, you got flow.
Okay.
I'm gonna do that as a quick cine there, just
Yeah.
to show it. So you're kind of wedged there, lots of disease proximally. So we're just gently injecting there. You can see there's flow down there. A lot of disease distally. I'm not sure if that's all real disease or spasm. It's going into a second, first posterolateral branch that's small.
Can I get the torque, please, Chelsea?
But it looks like we have a reasonable, healthy landing zone proximal. Yeah, IV, please. IBIS catheter is going down quite well. Yeah, okay.
Right down into the LV, I think.
Good.
Okay. Okay.
So we're distal there. Sorry, I don't know if I'm not sure if you're able to see the IBIS catheter or not, and the IBIS feed or not. But you can see distally, there's quite a bit of disease even where we are. That might be into the smaller branches, but it's not not.
1 second, a look at our last Retroshot that we
Okay,
did.
started the pullback here.
Yeah, it looks like there's some disease probably at and just beyond the bifurcation.
Yeah, see, there's a good healthy landing zone, I think. Kicks any there, just see where that is.
Yeah, it's just
so that's right at the bifurcation there. So we're gonna have to go quite distal. There you can see it's all diseased. They can't see it, eh? Okay, so unfortunately, it seems that this doesn't. We don't have the setup to feed the IBIS into the catheter despite it being slaved in. So we'll have to work on that for future live cases.
Good size artery, though, measuring 3 to 3.5, kind of diffuse disease through the proximal mid segment, not too much calcium so far. So it looks like a good landing zone to stent into distally. I think there's probably some disease in the RCA continuation beyond the PD, but we can look at that once we've fixed proximally. Moderate calcium there in the CTO. We're in the CTO segment now.
Yeah, we haven't seen heavy calcification. We haven't seen more than 180 or 270 arc of calcium. So I don't think we need aggressive prep to treat that. I think we're getting into the guideliner now. Yeah, so we're into the guideliner there. I'll do some measurements there.
All right.
Yeah, so we do apologize that the IBIS is not feeding in. So I don't see trying to see if I can see the posterolateral branch come in.
Yeah, I think we started our IBIS run probably just proximal to the bifurcation.
Okay.
And again, the Retroshot that we did suggests there, again, looks like there's moderate disease in the continuation beyond the PD.
So
I think we've got a good landing zone the distal right to stent into. What's that measuring by? 3 millimeters.
Yeah, 296. I'll probably take a 275 and then we can always post dilate. I'm getting, and it's not the most healthy segment. So I'll take a 275 and then we can always post dilate afterwards.
Sure. I mean, at 275, we can make 3.5. So, okay. So let's say, I think we can stent directly here, Bassam. We can use our stent balloon to.
Yeah, I agree.
Predilate further proximate.
Agreed. So based on the IBIS results.
38, say, Promus Premier, please.
And we've ballooned a track. So hopefully, and we got reasonable support now with the trap liner. So hopefully we should be able to deliver it.
Yes, please.
Sounds good.
We